I think we've talked about reimagining the creative economy, the role of creators, and the role of influencers and the marketing dollars. Give us an introduction to that, Himanshu, from your perspective, particularly in Indonesia, but there's been so much change and so much democratization, and what it means for advertisers and consumers.
We have been part of the, I'll say, influencer economy for some time. But what happened now with the new platforms coming in, everybody wants to convert every user into creator. And that has resulted into a huge number of creator bases. For example, in Indonesia alone, there are about 12 million people are considered creators on the platform. Same numbers I see in Thailand and the Philippines, about 9 million people are creators. But when you move them where the real monies are, out of this 12 million people, about 2.8 million people contribute about 80-90% of GMVs on the social commerce. So this whole piece has been undergoing a lot of disruptions by different platforms, and also getting the attention of the marketers in a big way. New models are getting created, new ROI pilots are getting done, and that keeps many of us busy. It also keeps many of the media players very interested about the whole ecosystem. So the marketers now need a model on, if I invest so much money, what will happen in return. And I give you a baseline case. We ran 3 pilots, 3 different categories in the last 6 months in Indo. What is the investment to sale ratio, GMV ratios on a marketplace? What's on just influencer? What's on affiliate? And what's on live stream?
Right.
So if I say that marketplace is 100 on a GMV terms, the affiliate was about 300. And the live streaming was about 900.
Right.
So this ratio, if you do multiple categories, you will find that they are minor changes, but the proportions are very similar. It means the marketers have now a real knowledge about where the bang for the buck will come from, and all the investment in that line will shift. So you will probably see a far more investment shifting from influencer alone to going to a lot of social commerce.
Got it. And let's talk about social commerce, particularly the live commerce segment and affiliates. What is driving that category going forward? And how do you see that developing in the next few years in Indonesia or Thailand or across Southeast Asia as you look at it?
I think the social commerce piece is driving competition, bizarrely. Normally competition drives media spending, but I think here the platforms are driving competition. And second, it drives sales. Now in a competition, I give you, recently we ran another survey to know how many brand launches happen in Indonesia in a month, and 5 different categories. Take a guess. Normally, from the large companies, they launch about 2-3 brands a year. But in a beauty care alone, there are 1,200 brand launches that happens in Indonesia in a month. 1,200.
Wow.
And that means that it will happen on a community basis. It will happen some restricted geography area. They will be active for some time. Somebody will become a creator for them, and the whole thing will go on. Even if they start taking 0.11 share, imagine this 1,200 people taking a share of the wallet, which is very disproportionate, and that will impact the big brands. So it is changing the market structure of the brands,
right,
the landscape of the competition, and the pyramid of where the sales contribution are happening.
Right. I want to talk about creativity. It's a big thing right now in advertising, because at a global level, some people are saying, creativity is challenged. It's a big issue in advertising. We need to return to it. We heard some perspective yesterday about that at the CEO forum as well. But how do you reimagine with what's happening in this market and in the region, the models for creativity might change?
I think creativity is a very large topic. We have lots of experts here in this part of the world, and sitting here in the audience. if I just talk about the creativity on the advertiser side,
Exactly.
that's very, that itself is undergoing a massive challenge.
Yeah.
You know, how do you measure, how do you assess the impact of creativity, and is it really working or not working? Traditional metrics are, you know, how much time that you spend, the attention span it grabs, and all that. So one side you will find that ad attentions are about 1.5 seconds to 3 seconds. Other side, you'll also find that the content pieces that is watched longer on some of the platforms are as high as about 2.5 to 3 minutes. So a brand which is used to creating an asset for 30 seconds is also able to get something watched for 3 minutes. This spectrum is giving opportunity to marketer to think in a very different ecosystem way rather than the very closed loop ecosystem that they have.
What's your biggest thing on the horizon in terms of what you can tell the audience in the room as the key trend to watch for next year, and maybe one of the key challenges to also watch out for next year?
Social commerce in Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia are going to lead the social commerce globally. Because I think when it was happening in China, not many people took note of, because the ecosystems are very different. Southeast Asia ecosystem are very diverse. It has all sorts of platform. And for a variety of region that's happening in the world today, you will find the full power of the platform, the content and the commerce in this part of the world happening at a massive velocity. It's an uncharted territory. No models exist today, and that is a challenge.
Got it.
So we will have to learn as we go along. But if there's one thing that will impact the budget allocation of the marketers in a big way in this region, is social commerce.